Hello, welcome to Pop Along RC, the RC car channel dedicated to RC car racing. I'm Carl, and in today's video we are taking a closer look at my latest car, which is the Schumacher FT9. This is a top of the range pro spec car running in the 1/10 fronty class. So the 1/10 fronty class has been going for a few years now, and it's something I've wanted to get involved in for a long time, but due to limited funds, it's not something I've been able to actually fully commit to. And most recently, we got hold of the FT9, and this is footage from its first outing. And I wanted to talk to you about how I think it got on. So this is the car going around in the first run, and I was just trying to get used to how the car handles, making sure it was trimmed up right. It had brand new tyres on, so therefore I didn't know what the grip was going to be because I've never driven it. And as far as endpoints goes, I think I could have potentially turned the endpoints up in hindsight, looking back at the evening, but I kind of set them as they were for the first round, and they didn't change a great deal as we went through. So in this first round, you can see coming up past me here is a back cave mini. I just move out the way to let them through, and then I try and stick with them, which I couldn't do. They were off down the track. So for me, this is me running the FT9, which has got control electrics, up against a back cave mini, which again has controlled electrics. The back cave mini is running 25.5 turn brushless system, whereas I'm running the just stock 17.5. I have got control gears, so maybe there's potential to go a little bit quicker if you were to gear up. But for this class in the UK, it's a final drive ratio of 5.0, which you're aiming for, and that makes the racing a lot closer and a lot more sort of competitive. It's about having a close race. So in terms of the car, I was feeling I was quite confidently getting it around the track, and I was able to stick on the racing line most of the time. I think in the first round and the second round, I was struggling a little bit with understeer going on corner entry. I actually, as I applied additive to the tyres throughout the evening, that did improve. But the only way to really get it to turn in was to slow down for the turns. So as you can see, again, the Mini is so much quicker through the turns. And as we went through the day, I had a little chat with the guy driving the Mini, and we had a little agreement that later on in the day, if he came up behind me, I wasn't going to get out of his way. I was going to try and hold the line and make it difficult and make it a challenge. Looking at lap times, my lap times were about, I think it was just close to a second off of his pace initially. But as I warmed up to the car, I was able to push, coming all the way down the straight at full throttle. And then I was having to let off to make sure I hit that apex. And again, coming through this section, I felt that I was running really good lines, but I just couldn't change direction as quick as the Mini. So here comes round 3, and I'm on the track, and I am trying to keep the guy behind, Dale, as honest as possible, holding a nice tight line. It's a shame that the camera dipped on my head, so the footage is a little bit lower than I would have liked, but you kind of get the idea. I'm having to force myself to go as tight as possible on all these turns, because if I go wide, he will find a way up. Like, I left almost no room there, and he still found room up the inside. But in the third round, he's kind of getting away from me slowly, but nowhere near as quickly as he was in the first 2 rounds. So I had found some pace, and I was getting quicker on the track, but I couldn't compete with the Mini. So this Mini's quite similar to sort of the Mardave Minis, Camtech Minis, but it seems to be the joker from Batcave is the Mini to have in that class, and they run those at quite a few of the tracks near us. So they've got a couple down at MK. There's quite a few over at Aylesbury. So they're quite nice cars to drive, and I know how responsive they are. So here we are now in, I think this is the 4th qualifier, and again I've got track position, and I'm going to try and make it as difficult as possible for him to get past, keeping it the tightest line possible. I think down the straight we were pretty matched for speed, but his acceleration out of the turns was far greater than mine. I was having understeer on corner exit, which was an issue. So things that I need to improve on this car. I want the car to turn in a little bit more. So that is as on corner entry, but I also want it to be able to sort of turn more on corner exit, because on both, on the power, it is struggling to hold the line. But here I am going a little bit slower, but trying to keep it as tight as possible to ensure that I am sort of protecting that inside line. But again, where there's a will, there's a way. And Dale is a very experienced driver, a regular down at this club, and he was doing a great job of putting me under pressure. Again, I'm trying to force him around the outside, and I've gone a little bit too tight. One little mistake was all it took for him to slide straight past. So although I wasn't racing against other fronties, I still got my racing fix thanks to Dale. I had a really good night at the club. This was sort of the test night for the car. So if you're interested to watch my journey with the FT9, please like, subscribe, hit the old ding dong bell, and hopefully we'll see you trackside soon. If not, we'll see you in another video.